Sid the Science Kid is an animated kid show that uses motion capture and CGI animation. The show follows a young boy named Sid, who in each episode asks his family, friends, and teachers about a topic covered in that episode. From cavities to nature, the show covers a magnitude of topics aimed to teach preschoolers about the world around them and become smarter or something. The first episode aired in 2007, and the final episode aired in 2013. But, as every show prior to it, and every show to follow, Sid the Science Kid had early designs and characters that were either scrapped or changed before the final product we have come to know today. A while back, I was in a call with some of my friends as we watched episodes of Sid the Science Kid. It doesn't matter why a bunch of teenagers and young adults were watching a show aimed at preschoolers, but it's important to what I'm going to be talking about today. While we were watching, I was looking up the name of a character and ended up stumbling upon something called the Sid the Science Kid Wiki. I clicked on it expecting to find the information I needed there, which I didn't. However, I saw an image of a character I never saw in the show. I clicked on the character to see who they were, only to find out that this character was an old design of Sid during the early stages of the show's production. This led me down a rabbit hole where I found myself more and more interested the further I looked into it. From clips of behind-the-scenes footage to concept art, and a page on the Lost Media Wiki, I found myself inspired to make a video covering the Sid the Science Kid Lost pilot episode. The first thing I found regarding the pilot episode was Sid's old design, where his hoodie and hair are different colors, and we can see that the facial features for characters were a bit different to what we got in the actual show, with a bit of a smoother mouth and less detailed eyes, lacking the shine and the eyelids. After a quick search, I found more art of the show, including concept art of Sid, or as he was known during production of the pilot, Josh. Yes, go ahead, go in the comments and make funny Jumbo Josh jokes. You're very funny and very original and creative. Yes. I'll wait. Go ahead. You done? On the topic of things having different names, the show wasn't always planned to be called Sid the Science Kid, obviously. And despite what you may be thinking, it was not going to be called something along the lines of Josh the Science Kid. They instead planned to call the show What's the Big Idea, which you may recognize as what Sid says in the show when talking about whatever the episode covers. It's a nice nod to the pilot, and it's actually a pretty banger catchphrase. But what about the pilot itself? Where is it, and why isn't it publicly accessible? Well, not much is known about the pilot, and we hardly have any footage of it. The only footage currently uncovered is from a behind-the-scenes video of the pilot, and even then, the original audio is yet to be uncovered. While a lot of the pilot seems to cover a lot of the released version of the show, even being called Sid the Science Kid behind the scenes, there is some footage at 044 and 125 where we can see black and white footage of people in mocap suits behind a screen with who appears to be Sid. However, when inspecting these clips closer, the character appears to more closely resemble Josh. This is the only footage uncovered regarding the pilot. 2 blurry, colorless clips that are only mere seconds long. But why? Why is there hardly any footage of the pilot? Why are there only 4 relics from the humble beginnings of this kid's show? And my answer is, I don't know. So many other PBS pilot episodes are available, and yet Sid the Science Kid, or the What's the Big Idea pilot, is unavailable. I thought maybe it was because Jim Henson was involved in it, and perhaps there was some sort of contract that didn't permit the sharing of anything without Jim's say-so. But that wouldn't make sense, as the pilot for things like Dinosaur Train and even The Muppet Show are available, so it doesn't make sense that the pilot or What's the Big Idea wouldn't be allowed to be shared. Since there's nothing else to go over or anything else to discover, at least not at the time of writing this, I've reached out to the company that helped in producing the show to either gain some new information on the pilot, or perhaps even uncover the entire pilot if we're lucky enough. If they respond, I'll put a new thing here, but if the Jim Henson Company doesn't respond to me, which I highly doubt they will, I'll just cut the video off.